Apple is set for a highly anticipated event starting at 1 p.m. here on the East Coast. The tech giant is expected to give consumers a look at the new iPhone 17 and a few other product updates, focusing on the Apple Watch and AirPods. Tim Higgins is a Wall Street Journal business columnist and a CNBC contributor, and he joins us this morning. Tim, what do you think about this? Most people describe this as kind of a incremental change to the phone. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, this is definitely the opposite of a super cycle. You know, one of those years where some hardware change really excites everybody. The design looks different. There's something like 5G. Remember, 5G was introduced in 2020, and we just saw sales jump dramatically following that, like 39% in the year. This year, you know, the big thing might be a thinner, lighter weight Air version of the iPhone, which I think will appeal to some people, but because of its performance capabilities, isn't going to like draw everybody out around the world at a super excited level.
The average hold time for these phones has gotten longer and longer. Do you know how long it is right now? And is it a problem for Apple that that's the case, or is it enough to just keep all these people locked into their ecosystem?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. That number is getting quite long, right? More than 4 years, getting close to 5 years. I mean, think about it. That's really longer than a car lease for a lot of people at this point. And the worrying thing is you want to see that kind of turnover. In a lot of ways, the iPhone has become like an annuity. Every few years, people get a new one. You want to see it quicker. The danger is that the competitors maybe have something new. But you hit on the one key thing that Apple has, that strength, that lock-in. It's very hard to get out of that digital ecosystem. It's been incredibly difficult over the years. Perhaps, though, with some changes in Europe law and court case here in the States, seeing some interesting changes in the app economy, companies figuring out a way to get around the ability for Apple to charge that Apple tax. That changes some of the dynamic, but I think that the lock-in is still pretty tough.
You're just talking about the ecosystem. They have my photos. Yeah. They have everything in the cloud.
The blue bubble, the green
music.
Bubble divide. Right. You're an Apple person at this point.
So what comes next? What would you look for this morning that would be something that would be like, hey, that's something to pay attention to?
I think pricing is going to be huge. Pressure to increase pricing or not, to eat the effects of tariffs. I mean, one of the things that I'm excited about, just as a nerd in consumer pricing and in the schemes of how you get consumers, the psychology of how you get them excited, a lot of analysts are expecting that thinner version of the iPhone that's a little bit different than the rest will kind of price in between the base model and the Pro versions. You know, I almost think of like General Motors 100 years ago of a car for every person purpose. In the Tim Cook era, you've really seen this kind of stair-step approach to having a phone for every pocketbook. And that putting in kind of something new and exciting in kind of the mid-level is probably pretty smart here in this economy where you see the consumer index pricing, you know, just showing concern here in August. People are worried about their pocketbooks, but here's something that maybe is a little bit more affordable, maybe a little bit more exciting. Not hugely exciting. If you're wanting the Cadillac, you're going to want the Pro or the Pro Max. But if you're wanting that Buick of iPhones, maybe Tim Cook's got something for you.
Tim, what about the watch?
Yeah, exciting, right? We haven't seen a lot of changes there, but the high-end one, I think a lot of people are expecting some improvements there, maybe changing the screen, some more what I think of off-road capabilities with texting with satellite or connectivity with satellite, which I think appeals to folks out there who are with the Garmin model out there who are doing stuff that are extreme sports. So that maybe we'll get more excitement in the watch.
And I guess if you're looking at the stock for the year, it's down by just over 5%. What do you think the biggest hangover on the stock is at this point? Is it not having AI components ready to go? Is it facing competition from other makers? Is it regulatory issues facing them in Europe and beyond?
I think tariffs are a concern for some, but really the biggest is that concern about AI and where Apple is playing in that field. Some investors concerned they're not investing is the same kind of level and the kind of excitement that you see at Meta or others. I mean, the flip side of that, I think some would say, well, let others go and spend big money, and Apple will do what it has done in the past and swoop in later. But the real concern about its strategy and if it's being competitive enough. The concern here is that this device, the iPhone, is at the center of our digital lives, right? It is the gateway to the digital world, and AI holds the kind of the promise of upending that computer paradigm, right? Zuckerberg at Meta is talking about the ability of glasses, chunky glasses, to be the gateway, the way you'll access this computing platform in the future. It'll always be there as your digital assistant. OpenAI is also talking about kind of a new fourth device, if you will, that will live with you in a way that can help you access this sci-fi technology. And it's not clear yet that the iPhone has, or the Apple has figured out what it's going to be in that play. Now, Tim Cook would suggest that the iPhone will continue to be there, that there's so much functionality in that screen. But that is, to me, one of the exciting things about this kind of new change in the potential of technology.